We are on record for our third review in this matter. We have the names of our participants, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicole, Underwood, lawyer, guardian ad litem for the minor child.
Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Moore.
Macy Moore, foster care worker with Catholic Charities.
Apparently not present, at least not in person. He's on Zoom, I don't know.
He is not.
Michael McFarland representing Christina Lemley mother. Is she on Zoom, Your Honor?
As she's logged in, Ms. Lemley, would you confirm you can hear us, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was able to meet with the minor child last week in her relative placement. I feel like she's really gotten tall throughout the last couple of months. She's just growing and going from a baby to a real person, for lack of a better word. She's just talking and communicating. She's so expressive. She's really, I feel like she knows me now, so she gets excited when she sees me. The dog always has a great time once we're there, and we all kind of hang out and enjoy our time together. But she has a toy kitchen she loves to play with. She put all sorts of things in the shopping basket and grabbed a book from the bin and sat down in my lap so I would read it to her. She's just really, really comfortable in her placement. She's thriving there. Her needs are being met. It continues to serve her best interest and is the least restrictive environment at this time. And she's too young to express a preference, as she's only just over a year old. Thank you.
All right, testimony today, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll ask Ms. Moore to be sworn in.
Come on up to our witness.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. Ms. Moore, I'm just going to call you Macy, if that's okay.
That is fine.
Okay. All right, Macy, you have provided, at least from my records, two separate filings for this court hearing. One is a court report with a rental agreement for Ms. Lemley, a photo of the child's hands following a visit, and then the parent's case service plan. And then there was a second exhibit that was submitted, which looks like a strand or a string of Facebook messages from Mr. Wright. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to either of those documents that you're aware of?
Yes, I have quite a few updates today. On 9/25, I was able to meet with Christina and Dawn. At that meeting, Christy reported that she was unsure how much she's going to have to owe on the enterprise car that she got in a car accident with. She also reported that her next therapy session was October 1st, and I reminded her at that meeting to either get the therapist contact information for me or provide the therapist with my contact information. She did do that on 10/2. I called the therapist and left a message, and I have not received a response back. She said give her about 5 business days for a response though, so she still has a little bit of time to respond. Christina has not visited with Kenzie since the 9/11 parenting time, and she has also not utilized any FaceTimes that have been offered to her. And then Christina was also referred to forensic fluids for random drug screening at a Saginaw location on 9/25, and her color was called on 10/3 and 10/6, and she has no-showed both of those. And then I was also able to receive her discharge paperwork from the Odyssey House. They sent it over to me late on 10/3, so I opened it Monday morning on 10/6. On that paperwork, it does state that Christina had 2 positive drug screens, one on 5/15 of 2025, one on 7/15 of 2025. Both were positive for methamphetamines. I did request Elizabeth Reyes to give me a phone call back. I have not heard from her. She did say she was out of office, and that's why there was such a delay on getting that paperwork to me. And then another update I have is Victoria Wright, Matthew's Wright's mother, reached out to me on September 25th. I asked her multiple times in that conversation what I could assist with her for today. She was not able to do anything and she was not effectively communicating with me, so I did hang up on her. But I did call her back on September 26th and left a message requesting to schedule a phone conversation with herself, myself, and my supervisor. I have not
I
heard
never
back
got
from
that.
Victoria Wright.
I never got
Okay,
that.
Ms. Wright, this is a court hearing. We have to abide by the court rules that govern that court hearing. I saw your last name, so I let you into the hearing, understanding that you probably had something to do with today's proceedings. Typically, if you were going to be testifying or participating, we would prefer that you were here in person. Obviously, you're responding to what Ms. Macy Moore is testifying to, so we may circle back to you in a few minutes. But please refrain from interrupting so that I won't have to excuse you from the meeting. There is also the YouTube option. We are broadcasting this afternoon, so that if you do become unable to continue to attend, whether because I have to ask you to leave or because you choose on your own, you're welcome to view the proceedings by YouTube if you're not able to be here in person. Ms. Thomas or Ms. Moore, if you can pick up where you left off.
I can continue. So I have not received a response or any more additional communication from Victoria Wright. And then for an update on Kenzie, I just want to reiterate a lot of what Ms. Underwood said. She really has grown into like an actual toddler this reporting period. The last home visit I went to at the house, I think Kenzie thought it was a play date just for me and her. She did a similar thing, climbed up right in my lap and was demanding me reading her books to her. So it's always fun to go over there. But one additional thing that I would like to report for the family is that Kenzie is struggling with sleep still. So she is waking up about nightly and struggling.
What's she struggling with?
Just sleeping throughout the night. She was sleeping throughout the night and now she is waking up at least once a night. And I believe it is like a nightmare waking her up. That is all of my updates though. So if.
All right, thank you for that. Just a reminder, we are live streaming on YouTube, and so trying to refrain from using the child's name, but thank you for those updates. And at this time, based on your report, it seems that there's been information, I mean, in your updates, it seems that there's information we weren't aware of. And then there's also been sort of this regression in compliance from the case service plan as it relates to Ms. Lemley. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes.
And at this time, do you believe that the permanency goal, which at the last court hearing was shifted to potentially looking at a guardianship along with adoption, and then of course, you know, always trying to aim for reunification, do you believe that that should still be the permanency goal, or do you believe that there should be a change in permanency goal at this time?
I believe there should be a change of permanency goal and the transition should be only adoption and dropping the guardianship.
This child has been in care since June 21st of 2024, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and since it's over 15 months, is there any compelling reason why the court should not order the agency to file a petition to terminate parental rights to allow this child to be freed for adoption?
I do not believe so.
At the beginning of the matter, some of the outstanding issues or conditions that led to the removal and barriers to reunification were really surrounded around substance use, abuse, mental health and domestic violence, and then sort of those really basic housing, transportation, financial needs. Have there been any, at this point in time, do those barriers still exist to reunification?
Yes, the barriers still exist.
In your report, you indicate when you asked Ms. Lemley to screen at your last contact with her, she refused, stating that everyone would win but her, essentially something like that. Did she elaborate what she meant by that?
She did not elaborate, no.
Okay. And then as relates to Mr. Wright, after review of his text messages, can you clarify Who did he believe he was sending messages to?
Macy Moore, the foster care worker.
Okay. And so did you perceive his messages to you as threatening?
I did, yes.
And do you feel like the court needs to offer, or are you asking the court to offer some sort of additional safeguards in its orders to ensure your safety? Or how do you plan on working with Mr. Wright moving forward?
Moving forward, I plan on just taking an additional staff member with me pretty much if I'm meeting Matthew or Christina, based on the fact that I don't know if they're going to be together or not.
At this time, do you know if Miss Lemley is even still residing in Saginaw?
I am not for certain, but I am aware that she sent me her work schedule about 2 weeks ago. So I would
Okay.
assume, but not for certain.
Okay. I think in your report you indicated if I read correctly, that you attached the police report from the car accident on 9/11.
I did not attach it. I had it requested at that point.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then I did misread that. Okay, have you received it since then?
I have received it, yes.
Okay. And is there anything from the incident report that you believe is relevant for today's hearing?
No, I don't.
Okay. I know one of the main concerns during this review period is obviously the unsupervised parenting time that Ms. Lemley was engaged in with the child, and those two are found at Mr. Wright's house or location. Can you articulate for the court why you believe that is or poses a substantial risk of harm to the child?
Yes, so I believe that it posed a risk to the child as Matthew has not participated moving forward with his case service plan for the duration of the case. He has not had parenting time with Kenzie for the duration of the case. And his housing is unknown, so I don't know what is happening at the residence. So those were all of my main concerns.
And was there any indication from Ms. Lemley or Mr. Wright that this is something that they just do, that any other time the child's been fine, no one knew or anything like that?
No, they did not say that they've ever done it before or anything like that.
Okay. And at this time, are you asking for any change of parenting time as relates to either parent?
No.
Okay. And so right now, the proposal for parenting time for Ms. Lemley would be supervised at the office once a week for, I believe it's 6 hours.
Yes, I would request that it be brought down to 10 to 3, just because that's a big time to sit in an office with the child and have a staff member in there.
Okay. Is there anything else for the court that you would like to share, or anything you need guidance on?
I do not believe so.
Okay. Oh, I did have one follow-up question. In your report, you report that you had a phone call with Ms. Lemley's landlord and that September rent had not been paid. Do you have any update on that?
I do not have an update on that, no.
Okay. Thank you. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness. I would move to admit the court report and then the second exhibit that was submitted, which are just the messages from Mr. Wright to Ms. Moore.
No objection.
No objection.
No objection, except as far as the messages. We have no position on that.
Thank you. The exhibits are received. Cross-examination, Mr. McFarland?
I do. My presumption is that you're not a drug expert, correct?
Correct.
And my client was successfully discharged from the inpatient drug program, correct?
I do not have documentation that states successfully discharged.
Do you have any documentation that she was unsuccessfully discharged?
It just states discharged.
Now, you've not inquired of them if it was unsuccessful, correct?
I've reached out and requested a phone call, but she has not responded back to me. And she is Elizabeth Reyes from the Odyssey House.
Have you dealt with the Odyssey House before?
Yes,
They typically put unsuccessfully discharged if they're kicked out of the program, right?
I have not dealt with them previously beyond this case. I'm sorry, I misintruded that question.
So if, let's say, we were to presume my client was successfully discharged, even with the 2 positive drug screens, that'd be discharged through people who are expert at rehabilitation, right?
Correct.
You're not holding those against her, are you?
Holding the positive drug screens against her. They cause concern, for sure.
When did you find out about these 2 positive drug screens?
Monday.
So it's really too early to express an opinion because you need some more input, is that correct?
Correct.
Fair enough. The automobile accident, you're not faulting that on my client, correct?
No, that was a simple car accident from the report that I've read.
Are you under the understanding that though she cannot lease another vehicle until the claim is resolved through the rental company?
I am, yes.
She lives how far away?
She lives in Saginaw.
How are we gonna get her down here for visits if she can't have a vehicle, if she has no transportation effectively right now?
We have offered her gas cards to ask, she was previously borrowing like a friend's car and coming down. So I have offered the same thing. We could do gas cards and she could borrow a friend's car and come down.
How much is a gas card?
$25.
That's sufficient gas all the way from Saginaw back?
I believe so. If it's not, she can report and we can give her multiple gas cards, but I would presume so, yes.
And if she has no access to a friend's car, have you asked her if she has access to a friend's car?
She said she was asking one of her friends, but she did not get back to me with it.
As far as you know, there's no public transportation, correct?
Correct.
So what about the ability to take the child? How old's the child?
2.
All right. What about the ability to meet halfway or take the child up there?
I would be willing to do that, but I would request a shorter, like time frame, like a 2-hour block instead of a 4-hour block.
That's because the child's riding in the vehicle, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and we don't have an office or an agency, so we're gonna have to find a library, take up space in the library for 4 hours.
Well, your concerns about if you're down here having too much time at an office, you could also split that time between an office, a library, or a park down here, a full 6 hours, correct?
We could, but then that still brings us back to having a staff member there to supervise.
How many total hours per week are you asking?
For parenting time?
Right.
I would say 2 to 4.
No, traditionally, this court gives at least 2 hours 3 times a week, which would be 6 hours. So you're aware of that, correct?
I am not aware of that, no.
So let's say the court says 6 hours. How would you accommodate that per week?
I would recommend those being split into different days, but then that creates another issue with the transportation of not being able to come down here for the 2 days. But I guess I would have to get with my supervisor and do some brainstorming with all of the people in our agency and see what ideas we all have.
Okay. Halfway between Saginaw and Adrian, Ann Arbor, someplace like that, have you explored using their offices or something like that, libraries?
I have not explored
Your
it.
Honor,
We previously.
Macy, hang on. Your Honor, I'm just going to object to this line of questioning. I just, at this point, believe that it's been explored regarding transportation with parenting time. I think this is more appropriate to do off the record in a family team meeting. Additionally, our record has many instances in which this parenting time was occurring in Ann Arbor, and this has been accommodated in the past. And so I don't find it necessary or relevant at this point in time to continue to revisit it.
I think parenting time is also relevant, is relevant any session, Your Honor, and I think she was saying that she will explore that, not that it has already been explored. So I think her answer she's already placed on the record is contrary to what, and she's already said that she's going to explore that. So I don't see the need for me to ask any more, but I think my question was valid to her.
All right, so are you moving on to a different question? Or did
So
you?
I'll withdraw that question and just let me ask, will you then schedule a family team meeting to discuss parenting time?
I can do that. I do have one question as to
Oh, I
that.
can't answer questions. You have your own attorney, okay?
Okay, it's more
What's
of a
your one
question to the
concern?
court. I do believe there's a previous court order that states that parenting time is to occur in Lenawee County, as Kenzie or the child was the one going up to all of the parenting times. So that is why I have not explored it farther, but if the court would like to make a decision on that, I'll follow the court's recommendation.
Am I hearing you might be open to different combinations, a mother coming down, a child going up? Maybe Ely's open to exploring all options?
Yes, I'm open to explore.
Okay. Moving on, my understanding that my client explained to you that she took the child to father's house so that the child could have a visit with my client's dog, correct?
That is how it was explained. Well, she explained that she was dropping off dog food and then she stayed too long and ended up making mac and cheese because they were having too good of a time.
Okay. And is that what caused her parenting time to be changed from unsupervised to supervised?
Yes,
Did you go to that household?
the residents that,
Correct.
yes,
I don't see anything in your report. You stated a whole bunch of possibilities about Mr. Wright, but I don't see in your report where there is drug use, alcohol use, a smell of marijuana, where there's filthiness. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any glaring dangers to the child there, physical dangers, correct?
I don't believe so. I've never been able to do a home visit at his residence.
That's
So
not what I
I
was asking. I was
Okay.
asking when you were there that day, I don't see in your report any glaring physical dangers to this child, correct?
correct.
And is it also your understanding that my client does wish to go through the guardianship for this child? Are you aware of that?
Yes,
That was before this incident at the house. You're aware of that?
correct.
So before the incident with the dog in Mr. Wright's house, were you still on board with the guardianship?
That was my recommendation, yes.
So just this one incident with child visiting the dog at Mr. Wright's house is causing you to change it to termination of parental rights?
Correct. And her refusal of drug screening, that caused concern as well.
Nothing further?
Mr. Brooks?
Have you ever met my client, Mr. Wright?
Yes, I have. I met him in the fall when the case originally opened, but that's the only time that I have met with him.
All of what year, man?
Oh, I'm sorry, 2024.
Since then, you've not seen him or, now, I read that lengthy text message. Was that directed towards you?
I believe so. It was sent to me, so I took it that way, yes.
That's my question, yeah. All right. So when's the last time you even spoke to my client?
I spoke to your client. I would have to look at the date of my proof of service for him.
Roughly.
I would say last Thursday, I reached out, made sure he got all of the documentation for court. He said he didn't, so I sent them all of that documentation over Facebook Messenger. And then I also provided him with your phone number and your email.
Did he acknowledge that he received your message?
He did not, but on Facebook, you can see when somebody views your message, and it did show that he viewed the message.
According to this report that I'm reading, if I'm getting the impression correctly, he has never participated in anything that the courts authorized to take place. Have I got that right?
He has participated in one drug screening, I believe, following one of our reviews in April, but beyond that, he has done nothing.
I have nothing further.
Ms. Underwood?
When Miss Lemley was taking the child on unsupervised visits, would she pick up from you?
Yes, she would. So what we did was request Miss Lemley to send me a blurb of what she planned to do for her day prior to pickup. We would do pickup at my office, and then she would leave for the day. She would return to my office at 5 o'clock and return the child to her foster placement. And then at that time, I expected her to send me a blurb of what actually happened that day.
Okay, so the day when the child was found to be at Mr. Wright's home, what did the blurb that Miss Lemley sent to you say she was planning on doing that day?
It had nothing in there stating that she planned on going to Matthew Wright's house. I believe that it stated she was going to go to the library and get lunch. And then I also believe that it said, if it still remains nice, we're gonna go to the park after lunch.
Were there ever discussions about Miss Lemley having insurance on her rental vehicle in case there was an accident or something occurring with this child in the car?
Yes, there was a long going conversation. I can't recall the name of the additional insurance that we were requiring her to put on the vehicle. But we were requesting her put additional insurance on the car in case an accident was.
I'm objecting, Your Honor. That's not in the case service plan. So this is outside the context of the case. We have a case service plan and it doesn't state that she's supposed to do that.
So.
So that's not relevant.
Response?
I would say neither is that she's gonna rent a car to transport the child, but yet she's still doing that. I think it's relevant because it's regarding the safety and well-being of the child.
And transportation and parenting time, so I will allow the testimony as it relates to that.
So you can go ahead.
Can you re-ask the
Sure.
question?
Was there discussions about whether Miss Lemley was required to have insurance on the vehicle that she was driving with the child?
Yeah, so I can't recall the name of the insurance that we told her to get, but I do know it was an additional insurance that didn't like automatically come with the car.
And did Miss Lemley indicate she would obtain that insurance for her?
Yes, she did. She sent it to me. I can't tell you the date, but I do know I received a copy of it at one point.
So when she got into the accident, did she not have the insurance on the vehicle?
No, she did not.
Can you elaborate some on the overall appearance of the child when you picked her up from Mr. Wright's home?
Yep, so her hands were kind of like what I were to imagine just digging in dirt. They were just covered. She also had, I believe, on her left arm, but it was one of her arms, this part in between your elbow and your wrist was all purple, and Christina reported that she got into like an ink pad or an ink pen and it exploded all over her. I did make sure that it like wiped away and it wasn't a bruise before leaving. Kenzie, or the child, was fine when I put her in the car and she was able to be like redirected. We have toys in our car. And then once we returned to the office, we saw she was kind of inconsolable. She was just bloody screaming basically as soon as we handed her over to Dawn. The placement held her for about 5 to 10 minutes before even getting her in the car seat. And then I believe they had a long night that night as well with sleep regression with the child.
Was the child's clothing dirty?
Yes.
Did it appear that the child's diaper had been changed at all during the visit?
It did not appear that way, but I will say Christina Lemley told me that she thinks that the child just pooped when she handed her over to me. So.
Okay. At that time when you went and picked the child up or appeared at the home, how did Miss Lemley react to you being there to take the child from her visit?
Kind of walked up to me and was just nonchalant, brushed it off, kind of just looked at me like, what are you here for? I told her at that point, like, we all know that this isn't appropriate. Your visit's over. And she just handed her over and kind of moved on. At that point, once we obtained the child, I worried about the child and not necessarily the parents. So my supervisor dealt with the child and the police, dealt with the police officers and the parents while I took the child to the car, turned the car on, got the air going, and called placement.
Okay, and the police, why were the police contacted?
Police were contacted just for safety concerns on my own end. I did not feel comfortable going to the residence by myself with my supervisor.
Did Matthew Wright appear at all during this time?
Yes, Matthew Wright was the first one to greet us at the gate. He was telling the homeowner that we weren't allowed to go in the backyard unless she told them we were allowed, or told the police we were allowed to. The homeowner said, I've already given them permission. And then the police officer asked Matthew Wright to put up the dog. And then after that, Matthew left the residence, is what Christina reported to us.
And then there was one drug screen that Miss Lemley indicated she would not take. What date was that?
That was on 9/12, the day after the parenting time incident.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Follow up, Mr. McFarland?
Yes. Did you ever put this insurance issue in writing to my client? Did
Could
you
you
require
clarify?
that she have that insurance that you're talking about?
Yeah, we went back and forth on email for a while about it.
Did you request that she couldn't come down unless she provided that insurance?
As in like take the child for
Right.
parenting time?
Right.
No.
So it wasn't that big of an issue, right? Because you weren't checking on it every time.
I guess so, yes.
Do you, I mean, if a parent only has PLPD and they have their regular vehicle, can they not drive a child? Trying to figure out what you're asking.
Well, the issue with the insurance, we were just wondering, like, if she was to get into an accident, what would happen with medicals if they were to be injured? So that is why the insurance was an issue.
My understanding that the insurance issue that she has right now is for damage to the vehicle. It's not regarding medicals or anything like that, correct?
The one that I can't recall the name of would cover medicals, but I can't recall the name of it.
I have nothing further.
Any other questions, Mr. Brooks?
One, I get the impression listening to your testimony here just now that the quote unquote owner of the house was also present. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
Do you know who that person is?
I do not know.
That's all I have.
Any other questions, Ms. Underwood?
No.
Thank you for your.
I do have one based upon Mr. Brooks' question, Your Honor. Did the owner of the house report any harm being done to the child or anything that would raise a red flag?
I did not speak to the owner of the home. The police officer did.
The police officer relayed to you that in his conversation with the owner that the child was in harm's way in any event, in any manner.
No, he did not.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. We return your seat. Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland?
I believe my client wishes to testify. Is that correct, Ms. Lemley?
Yes, sir.
Be sworn in first.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Let me know when it's raised.
Yes, unmute also, and if you could engage your video, that would be appreciated.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, you and I had a conversation prior to court last week, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe it's in your daughter's best interest to be in a guardianship right now with placement?
To look at the whole big picture at this point, could I, do I have the ability?
Hang on. You're cutting in and out. Can you put your phone closer to you? Or with the court's permission that you turn off her video?
Let's try the.
Let's try your phone closer. Now repeat the answer.
At this point, honestly, could I take her back and be okay? Yes. But, would it be a struggle? Would there be, stresses? Absolutely. Would it be fair to put her through that when I could go along with the guardianship option, still do visitations and get a little bit further in my stability, and then take her on full time. To me, that's the more logical option at this point. Yes.
No. Let me go with the big issue, and that seems to be you're asked to take a drug test, and it appears as though, at least from the testimony of the worker, refused. Can you tell us in your words what happened and why?
I did refuse it, yes. And that it was a matter of, I have been at this for, as we have all talked about multiple times now, a year and a half. I have done everything and anything asked of me. I have done additional anything and everything that, that there is. I have had Miss Moore's supervisor face to face tell me, there are literally no more services that we can offer you because you have succeeded in every single one of them. There is nothing else that we can do to help this along. At this point, I feel like I should be able to be trusted enough to have the judgment enough to be able to be sober and have my daughter with me at the same time. I've done nothing but the last year and a half of proving this. And just because I took her to ensure that my dog was in a comfortable situation to be most himself, to ensure that having her and him in my house at the same time, they would both be safe and okay with each other. That does not mean that in relapse. It means that I was trying to do things in a way that was going to be the safest outcome in the long run for my daughter and my dog to be together, because she was 4 months old the last time he was around her. And yes, he has been around children of 8, 9, 10 years old. He's not been necessarily around a baby. So I needed to ensure that he would.
Let me clarify. When you're talking about him, you're not talking about Mr. Wright. You're talking about your male dog, correct?
Correct. Shadow.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay. Were you successfully discharged from your drug rehab? Your inpatient?
From residential, yes, and then from recovery housing, yes, and then from outpatient as well.
Okay. You do know it's part of your case service plan that you have to drug test, right? If asked.
Yes.
Okay, would you drug test today then to prove that you're negative?
Yes.
Okay. You were asked to drug test the same day your daughter was taken away from you, is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Would it be correct to say that you're a little bit ticked off, to say it politically nicely, about the situation, and that your emotions maybe got the best of you?
I would definitely say that my emotions probably had the best of me for 2 or 3 good solid days.
Okay, fair enough. You and I talked, and in hindsight, do you think you should have done what you did?
No.
What do you think?
The concept.
What do you
Yes,
think
the
that?
way that. No.
What do you think you should have done in order to have your child acquainted with your dog?
Had a conversation with Miss Moore and or her supervisor to say, hey, this is what I need to do. How can we, figure out doing this where, Shadow is going to be in his most natural environment to be able to act most himself around her.
Fair enough. Were you intending to supervent Mr. Wright's, the court's order for him not to have parenting time when you did that? Was that on your mind?
I honestly did not think of that in one little bit. Real main thought was I knew that their Shadow could be most like himself with, the people that he knows, the area that he knows. There would be nothing to kind of glitch with him to ensure that I would get the exact personality that he is all of the time when she was around him.
But I understand, but I'm kind of asking, that was kind of a yes or no question, so we can keep you on track, okay? Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. you wish to have unsupervised visits resume? Is that what you're asking for?
I would absolutely love to have the normalcy of unsupervised visitations, but I mean, at this point, if it has to go back to supervised visitations, I'm not going to give my visitations up because they have to be supervised.
Right, when you and I spoke, we had talked about you making an itinerary of exactly what you're going to do and be accountable for every hour of an unsupervised visit. Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
Are you willing to have them call in at any time and FaceTime with you to verify that what you say you're doing, that you are doing?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you realize also that part of the agency's issue, I'm presuming, is that you didn't have the foresight to realize that you were violating a court's order and allowing Mr. Wright to have contact with your daughter? Do you realize that now?
Yes, looking at it beginning to end now, I see the error of, my tunnel vision on just her and Shadow and not thinking about the entirety of the situation of her and Matthew.
So under oath today, are you ever going to let Mr. Wright have any type of visitation outside of this court's order?
No.
Okay. Were you aware about this special insurance addendum that they wanted for liability in case something happened in the accident for medical coverage for your daughter? Were you aware of that? I'm
Yes,
just
at
asking,
one
number
of our,
one, yes or no, were you aware of that?
yes.
Okay. And it may be possible, but did your insurance coverage on the rental vehicle, did it have that on the day of the accident?
I had the supplementary liability insurance. I did not have any of their damage or theft coverage. So I had the insurance to cover her medical, but I did not have the insurance to cover the car.
Okay, so you had the insurance that they were requesting that you have. Is that what we're hearing?
Yes, every time that I have left the caseworker's office with her, I've had at least the supplementary liability insurance. I may not have always had the coverage on the car, but I've always made sure that I have the coverage.
Yeah, you can't talk over me. I'm not asking about that. The only issue that they brought up was the medical, and you say you have that. And would you be able to provide them proof as far as what you paid and what you got for coverage, so they know that you were complying? Would you be able to do that?
Yes, I just have to go back through my emails and find the final receipt.
Okay. Now, they say that they can give you a gas card for you to come down here. Are you going to be able to come down here from Saginaw by borrowing somebody's car? Have you checked into that?
I actually went one further than that. I'm currently in the middle of purchasing my own vehicle. I have about $200 left to pay it off, and then I will receive the title, and then I'm getting it plated and insured, and I will just have my own.
So when could you come down here and start visits so that your child wouldn't have to worry about transporting?
Well, I mean, I
When
can
will
come
you have
down,
your car?
honestly. I'm sorry?
When will you have your car?
I have it currently. I just don't have the title and it's not legal yet. So it's sitting in a driveway.
When will it be legal?
That's probably going to be at least 2 more paychecks because I have to finish paying the car off first and then get the registration and insurance and all of that.
And what is that, a month? The time frame?
Yeah, it's probably going to be at least roughly 30 days or so before I have it 100% legal to be able to travel down there. So
then my question I originally asked you, do you have somebody to drive you down?
That I do not. I don't have anybody that has the ability to, take an 8 or 10 hour day to come and just sit in a town that they've never been to before. That's where my big hiccup has been with that.
So could you meet them someplace halfway in between or not? Yes or no?
I would have to probably say no, just because the uncertainty I have of would I be able to do it?
Okay, just lastly, you'd be able to meet them in a family team meeting to discuss transportation, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think the worker testified that you were offered a video visit and you refused. Is that true?
I have never refused any of them.
You're frozen.
All right, I am gonna stop for video. I also want to say for the record that Matthew Wright did join the meeting around 2:16 PM, or at least someone logged in under his name.
Thank you. Can you hear me now? You were frozen.
Are we back?
We are back. We cut your video so we have a stronger audio. My question again to you was, did you at any time after the visits became supervised, refuse to have a video visit with your child? And we're not using first names.
No, I've never refused. They've never said, would you like to call? And I have said, no, that's never happened. There have been times where I have said, hey, can I talk? And they've been busy at the moment. We've done them later. Or I believe the last time I talked to her, when I had made a mention about, can I call such and such a day or something along those lines, it was going to be Fair Week. And so her placement family said, we're going to be busy with Fair for this next week. She's going to be with this person. So, coordinating video calls might be difficult, so I didn't that week at all.
Okay, fair enough. You answered that. I have no further well, let me just, have we covered everything that you wanted us to cover based upon our meeting? That's yes or no? Did we cover everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, other attorneys may have questions for you. Thank you.
Questions, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you. Ms. Lemley, where are you currently at?
Saginaw.
Okay. Curious because we've never had a problem with your connection.
Is that a question?
Yes, I'm wondering why there's a problem with her connection this time.
Before, I've always been in either residential or recovery housing where they have Wi-Fi and everything, and I don't currently pay for internet, and I'm also have exceeded my high-speed data limits for the month, so my data is slowed down on my phone. I had trouble with the last family team meeting I attended as well.
Okay. And typically you appear with someone from the Odyssey House. And I know you're obviously not in any of their housing now, but are you still utilizing Odyssey House as a support agency or support people?
My recovery coach that I had while I was in housing, who had been the main person who attended court hearings with me, I do still keep in contact with her. And then I still attend my Peer 360 meetings in person, along with, I have it worked out at my job that when I work my closing shifts, which are usually 1:30 to 10 p.m., there's a 9 p.m. online Zoom Peer 360 meeting that they allow me to wait and take my lunch at 9 o'clock so that I can log into that Zoom meeting while I'm at work.
Okay. Earlier in Ms. Moore's testimony, she indicated that just recently Odyssey House had informed her of 2 positive screens, one in May and one in July. Were you aware of those screens?
One I was, yes, which we had that resent to the lab and had it for determined, and it was determined that it was an exposure level, which, to be, dead honest, I've had that actually happen 2 other times since I have been in recovery housing. When I very, very first got, I tested positive for another substance, and it was determined that it was an exposure testing level, and that it had been a matter of cleaning out a prior resident's room.
Okay, so when is the last time you used methamphetamines?
Would have been June 18th or 19th of 24. It was 3 or 4 days before she was taken, 2 or 3 days before she was taken.
So it's your testimony that the 2 screens that Miss Moore was informed about are false.
You did. They classify it as an exposure level. It's still a positive screening, but they classify it at an exposure level, not a level of use.
Okay. And then, let me see here. Sorry. Just kind of going through my notes. Ms. Moore had indicated you do have referrals for forensic fluids up in Saginaw. Is there a barrier to getting there when your color is called?
My e-bike does not make it that far.
And do you have public transportation available in Saginaw at all?
I would have to do an Uber or a Lyft, and you would not actually believe the astronomical Uber prices to go that distance across town.
Okay. And can you please remind me, I know the report says this, but you have 2 other children that are in guardianships, is that correct?
Yes, my mother has temporary guardianship of my 7 and 5-year-old.
Okay. And is there like a parent, I cannot think of the proper name here, I'm sorry, like a parent visitation plan or parent plan that you comply with under that guardianship for them?
I do
Compound
court order
question.
through Hills.
Objection, compound question. First question was, is there a plan? Second, do you comply? It's one at a time. Client tends to ramble if we just have her ask one question at a time.
Okay, I think that's more for you, Ms. Lemley. Could you tell us in 2 different pieces, is there a plan and are you abiding by it? So is there a plan?
Yes, I do have a court order from Hillsdale County where I get 4 hours of supervised visitation every week, in addition to a 5-minute video and or voice phone call with each one of them every night. The complying portion of it, not lack of my trying. There will be a lot of days I have multiple text messages where, I have texted my mom, hey, are the Munchkins busy? Hey, can I talk to the Munchkins? What are the Munchkins doing? Or have tried to make plans to go into, I've tried a few different times to pick my daughter in this case up and take her out before school started, so that all 3 of them could hang out and play together and everything. And there's usually always an excuse, or, my oldest 2 are always busy, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, or it's not a good time, or she'll go days on end without answering my text messages or my phone calls. And I have multiple objects where I can prove that on my phone.
And I know that you kind of put a lot of testimony on there with Mr. McFarland regarding wanting, I'm going to just summarize it in my brain as like acclimating your dog and child so they can be kind of around another. Do you agree with that summation?
I I think so. I think I'm understanding what you're saying.
Part of the, let me just try to clarify this. So part of the reason that you wanted, that you had taken your child to Mr. Wright's home or whatever, was to acclimate or ensure that your dog would be okay with your child and they could be together. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that was 100% the motive behind that day.
Okay. And can you help us understand why that was important? I guess I'm confused just because this dog does not live with you, correct?
Incorrect.
Okay, so your dog does live with you in Saginaw?
Yes.
Okay. And is that permissible by your lease?
In my lease, it does say no pets allowed. However, after a conversation with my landlord, he does not have a problem at all with me having my dog there. I actually live in a duplex. The lady that lives in the other half of my duplex, she has a dog as well. It's just an additional $25 per month to pet fee to have him there.
Okay.
And I
okay.
have to clean
And-
up things, that stuff like that.
Okay. And so if parenting time were ever going to take place in your home in Saginaw, then you wanted to ensure everything would be okay, correct?
Correct. The last thing I wanted to do was, have her walk by and his ear and him not tolerate that and, have a problem. I needed to make sure that he was going to be okay with a little baby, that's still stumbles when she walks and, grabs onto things to pull herself up and, things like that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, with that, I have no further questions of Ms. Lemley. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks,
No, thank you.
Ms. Underwood.
Miss Lemley, how often do you bring your dog with you when you come down to Lenawee County?
I think it's been twice.
And do you take the dog to Mr. Wright's house each time?
Yes, I did.
How much contact do you have with Mr. Wright?
Well, we do have 2 other children. He will text me and ask me, have I talked to the kids, things like that. I'll send him, pictures of the kids. We discuss things with Shadow.
So when you're in Lenawee County, how much time are you spending over at his house?
Usually 5-10 minutes to drop Shadow off, and then probably 15 or 30 minutes, picking Shadow up.
Are you and Mr. Wright in a relationship?
No.
Are you currently up to date on your rent payments?
I am not 100% up to date, but I have sat down and my landlord and I have worked out kind of like a payment
Ms.
schedule
Lemley,
for
the
my
yes or
payment.
no, ma'am, the yes or no question is fine. So are you up to date on your rent?
No.
How many hours a week are you working?
I believe I'm averaging 25 to 30. The last
sorry, you
couple
cut out.
weeks have been, but it's been a consistent like 25 to 30.
How many times have you taken the minor child to Mr. Wright's house during your unsupervised visits?
That one time.
Okay, so you're confirming under oath that you've only taken Kenzie to Mr. Wright's, or the minor child to Mr. Wright's home one time?
Yes.
And are you also stating then that you have not admitted to drug use on that May or July 2025, those positive screens that were conducted by Odyssey House?
Correct.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to admit as rebuttal evidence, the discharge summary and transition plan is provided by Ms. Wright. I have copies for all of the attorneys and we can get an electronic copy to Ms. Thomas. In that report, it does indicate that Ms. Lemley admitted to using methamphetamine, at least for the July 2025 specimen.
Objections?
I'd like to see it before I have an opportunity to object or not.
Here it comes.
Is there any way we can share a copy with my client also?
I text her photos.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I'll do that right now.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
No worries.
All right, I've got a proposed copy, but I'll leave it face down until there's a resolution on the admission. Ms. Thomas, did you have an objection?
I do not, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
any objection to me receiving this document into evidence?
I have no position to take. This is Mr. McFarland's client.
Thank you for the clarification. We'll give you a moment, Mr. McFarland.
I'm just checking to see if it says she successfully discharged, but I have no objection to that.
All right, it is received then.
Here's the part that she referred to.
Page 3 at the top. Ms. Moore.
Mr. McFarland, just for your peace of mind, that's the messages over to Christina.
Ms. Lemley, are you able to open those text messages from Ms. Moore?
I have not received anything yet. I was just checking to look.
I'll connect to Wi-Fi and see.
Yeah, I just completely closed and like refreshed my messages app and I do not have anything from her.
I will attempt emailing them to her.
Your Honor, do you want me to pause in the testimony while we wait for this? Or do you want me to continue with my questions?
You can continue.
I just want some clarification on your rationale for having the child be introduced to your dog. The goal was guardianship at the time you took the child over to visit with your dog, is that right? Ms. Lemley, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can now. Did you hear my question?
Can you repeat it for me again?
At the time you're indicating you took the child over to Mr. Wright's to be introduced to your dog, the permanency goal for the child you would agreed was guardianship, correct?
At the time, the permanency placement goal was still reunification. There had been a conversation that, agreeing upon a guardianship at this hearing was an agreement.
And you were in agreement with that, correct?
Yeah.
And there were no pending or imminent parenting times that were going to occur in your home with this dog, correct?
My my hopes would be that yes, because at this hearing, which was 2 weeks later at this hearing, if it went into a guardianship, Moore stated that we would do a mediation to continue a visitation schedule, and I was hoping to start being able to, take her to my house for the day.
Okay.
Or if I was in Adrian for an entire day, bringing Shadow with me.
Ms. Lemley, I don't know what's going on with your signal, but it's really difficult to continue understanding what you're saying. It's like you're cutting in and out. Are you moving? Is the phone moving? Is there any way you can find a spot that's quiet where you can leave the phone down and just speak clearly into it?
Is this better?
Yes.
So Miss Moore indicated that prior to your unsupervised visit, you would send her what she called a blurb, which is just like a text message or note indicating your plans for each visit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you include anything about visiting Mr. Wright at that time?
No.
And why not?
It wasn't a for sure, like, done set plan or deal.
Do you think if you would have included that in your blurb to Miss Moore that she would have objected?
Looking back at the situation, yes, probably.
Were you attempting to hide the fact that you were going to visit Mr. Wright with your child?
No, I had no idea that the situation was going to actually work out until kind of like it all fell into place and worked out.
But you were still gonna need to go to Mr. Wright's house to pick your dog up after your parenting time, right?
Correct.
Okay, so there's really no need to take the child over there to drop off dog food?
There was the need to ensure that my dog and her can coexist together.
Okay, all right, no further questions.
Hey, Mr. McFarland, any redirect?
I do. I'm looking, Christina, at this discharge summary transition plan. It says that you were admitted on June 9th of this year and you were discharged June 10th of this year. Were you only in a Saginaw Odyssey House outpatient for one day?
No, and I have not personally seen the discharge paperwork or anything from outpatient yet. But no, I was in outpatient for, I believe, at least 90 days. It may have been longer, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, it's kind of cutting in and out again. I couldn't tell if you were saying inpatient or outpatient.
I was in outpatient for at least 90 days. It may have been a little bit longer, a little bit less, but I'm pretty sure at least 90 days.
Thank you.
So you're saying one day is incorrect on this, correct?
Correct.
It also says the reason for discharge is you dropped out of treatment. Did you actually drop out of treatment?
No, I called and had a conversation with my therapist, which is the clinical director, Miss Reyes, or Miss Beth, as we call her, and told her that, I had a conversation with Miss Moore, and we felt that at this point that, I could probably continue on without such intensive outpatient where I was required, multiple clinical hours per week to attend groups, to attend individuals with her and a recovery coach, just to lessen some of the things I was doing there to stay compliant with their program, to open up hours that I could either A, come to Adrian, or B, be able to work.
Okay, now, Ms. Reyes also said the discharge explanation is this. Though clinician had multiple phone conversations with Christina, she never participated in a regular individual sessions, and that's a discharge explanation. Did you fail to participate in regular individual sessions or not?
No, I can probably even go back and pull text messages where I would have individual sessions with Ms. Beth scheduled, and she would text me the day of or day before that, you know, she wasn't going to end up being in Saginaw that day. She was going to have to go work at the Flint residential building. Or there was another time
Okay,
where
I need
her
you
husband was.
to, okay, Christina, I need you to slow down and speak clearly and not move the phone, because we're not getting everything you're saying.
I'm sorry, is that better?
I hope so. Let's try it again. Slow down, please.
Do you need me to re-ask you the question or not?
No,
Okay, so
I-
to say slow and loud.
I did attempt to participate in my individuals. I had multiple individuals that were rescheduled on Miss Beth's accounts where she was required to not work in Saginaw the day of our appointment and had to go to Flint and work that day. Or there was another time her husband was in the hospital and she had to reschedule. I had multiple times that happened.
Thank you. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Anyone else have further questions for this witness?
No.
I have no questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland, any other witnesses?
Yes, I'd like to call Ms. Reyes with this report, but she's not here, so I'm asking for a continuation so I can do that. I think we're entitled to that since it has been admitted, and we do have a witness. I think that would clarify some of the major issues, Your Honor.
We have 14 minutes left in our allotted time for today anyway, and Mr. Matthew Wright has appeared. So I was going to talk to all of you about a continuance anyway, to be honest with you. So Mr. Brooks, do you want to check in with Mr. Wright to see if he wanted to testify and or to see if he wanted you to ask Ms. Victoria Wright to testify, his, I think, relative, I'm not sure what capacity. She seemed eager to weigh in on today's proceedings as well. How would you like to approach it?
Well, let me ask him.
Go ahead.
Mr. Wright, did you hear what the judge said?
Yes, I did.
All right. She is going to be setting this over for another hearing date. But do you want to use this few minutes we have to say anything to the court, sir?
I mean, there's quite a few things I'd like to touch base on. I don't believe that any of it we will be able to close out in 15 minutes, but
then I would suggest.
yeah, but yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, I think we should wait till you're not pressed for time, because I have read the text you sent to the caseworker, and you bring up an awful lot of issues in that text. And I want you to have a reasonable amount of time to respond. Do you agree with my decision?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I do.
We would like to wait until we have a more reasonable opportunity to speak.
I have a window of time for 1 hour on Tuesday, October 14th. That's this coming Tuesday at 1 o'clock. If you'd like to check your calendars.
Just a second, just checking to see if I have any.
So have.
Did you hear the date, Mr. Wright?
It was Tuesday. I couldn't hear the rest of it.
October the 14th at 1 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
That'll work for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ms. Underwood?
I'm available.
Excellent. Ms. Thomas?
That works for me, Your Honor. Thank you.
Me too.
Great, you were my next question. All right, so let's go ahead and adjourn for today then. And we'll ask everyone to rejoin us on the 14th at 1 o'clock. Mr. McFarland, if you intend to call an additional witness, I would encourage you to contact your client, track down the information for that witness and get that subpoenaed. I'd be happy to sign it if you need me to, so that you can have that coordinated for Tuesday, or let us know if we need to preserve your right to inquire as to that witness at a future hearing. I'm also open to that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, I want you to understand the procedure here. Mr. McFarland, who is the mother of your child's attorney, has asked for another client or another witness to come in. So they will in all probability be allowed to testify before I'm able to call you. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I do.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, briefly, I would just ask that you remind the parties that any communication not be threatening. I'd like Ms. Moore to feel like she is safe in attempting her duties. I feel like Mr. Wright has crossed the line here.
Oh. Freedom of speech.
Mr. Wright,
There's no.
Okay.
I've made no threats to anybody.
all right, Mr. Wright, just stick to the issues and language that can't even be misconstrued as a threat, please, moving forward.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, all other prior orders will continue in full force and effect, and I'll see you all Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Thank you.